Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Thank you very much for joining me once again. You're always most welcome. Well, it's that time of the month again when we get the latest batch of goodies from ICM, and they just keep on producing new and greater kits, it seems to me, despite the conditions that they're under. And I get very nervous. I've been very nervous recently. I've sent a couple of emails when they send these kits to me. They always say, be sure to let us know they've arrived okay. I'm a bit more worried about them than I am about the kit's arrival, to be honest, especially after the last couple of weeks when they've been, seems that, you know, Kyiv has been under constant bombardment, so it makes me very nervous and uneasy, I've got to say. So the fact that they can produce these wonderful things, I know we've said it before, but it's getting truer and truer because they're under more and more pressure, and it's a horrible war. I'm not going to go on about that, but, you know, we wish them all the very best. Sure, all of those of you watching this video will agree with me and say, you know, keep your spirits up. We're all with you. Thank you very much for sending these through. And the fact that you can produce all these varieties and interesting new kits, combo kits, and just keep on producing new products, it's quite remarkable. Like nobody else is managing. So the way I feel at the moment, I'm pretty sure that certainly at the 6 months, when we're looking at kits of the year, it looks as though ICM are going to be the manufacturer of the year again. Just by the variety and the number of things they're bringing out, new products, they deserve it. You know, there's no contest really. It's not even worth thinking it's a competition, because it isn't, is it? So well done to them. Thank you very much to them for their kindness in sending these through for you and I to enjoy. So let's have a look at this then. The Do217M-1 German bomber. Another variant of the Dornier, so it's kit number 48 scale, of course, 48274, and it says on the side, nice side box art and everything, says the variant of the 2017 bomber, this time equipped with the DB6038 engines. Detailed reproduction of the large glazed cockpit, accurate rendering of the aircraft's geometry based on the real Do217M-1 examples, which obviously they've got access to. Includes various types of bomb loadouts, sounds promising. Colour schemes for 4 marking options, which is the nice number, and 204 parts. Looks very nice. Let's look on the side, see what we've got here. Zoom you in for this. I just can't believe they keep coming up with new kits every month. It's just amazing to me. It's incredible. They deserve all the accolades that they have had. So now what have we got here? And I'm sure, speaking of accolades and quality, we know that the glazing is going to be good, I think, don't we? So we've got 9kg2 in 1943. It doesn't say the location. It would be nice to know the location. It may say inside. 2kg2 1944. The Night Flight Squadron 1945, and 2F Night Flight Squadron 1945 again. So it's a sort of mid to late war aircraft. Let's have a look inside and see what we've got this time. So obviously we did have the other earlier version, didn't we, a few months back. Again, they've issued that many kits, I lose track in my mind. There's so many of them coming through. I can't keep up with it. It's incredible. Well done to them. Right, here we go. Oops, my knife is the problem here. I think that blade is getting a little bit blunted, to be honest with you. Just hasn't got the edge it used to have. So I'm doing it slightly differently. I hope you're all well. We've had a certain change in the weather, haven't we? We've had this long hot summer in the UK. Now it's just gone. It's chucking it down all the time. Windy and rainy. Oh well, we do need it. The gardens and the grass ground needs it badly. The reservoirs need it as well. We're almost into a water shortage where are we? Right, 1 bag of sprues, it seems. Nicely packed though, not loose. No danger of things flying about and getting damaged, I hope. Let's see what it says then. So I'll give you a little bit of a story time. Well, that's unfortunate. I'm just going to show you these markings. Yet again, ICM triumph with common sense. I just wish others would do the same. Qatari, are you listening? And others. Airfix, are you listening? Revell, are you listening? Yeah, so they've got the swastika symbol, but they've got it in a way that is not completed. So it just doesn't appear to be that until you make it so. That's your choice. Well, I just noticed this UK, very unfortunate, isn't it? Oh, that's the markings of one of these aircraft. Yeah, that one of the night fighter ones, I think. But some very nice graphics, quite simple, nice crosses. I think this is ICM's own markings. Yeah, they look very nice. Maybe just a little bit of excess. The appearance is beautiful, but there's just a little bit of carrier film, perhaps a bit of a shadowy excess around the outside. Oops, I'll get very good focus here. Can you see what I mean? Just a slight excess, especially on the big crosses. But anyway, I'm sure that won't be a major problem, I don't think. Now, let's have a look at the history, which is one thing that they always get bang on. They just get it right. It's a bit like Airfix do. There's not too much and there's not too little. Just about the right amount. And it says, development of the Do217M-1 bomber was driven by a shortage of BMW 801D engines that were originally intended for the 217K1, which is the one we saw before. By 1943, the territory of the Reich was already under heavy bombardment by Allied air forces, and those BMW 801 engines were urgently needed for both day and night fighters and air defence. In other words, they were needed for the Focke-Wulf 190. Okay. So, as an alternative solution, Dornier's engineers adapted the 217K1 design to accommodate the different engine, the DB603. The DB603, which is a Daimler-Benz, Daimler-Benz, Daimler, pronunciation right, Daimler-Benz engine. This led to the creation of the new M1 variant. The powerful 603A engines delivered 1750 horsepower each, it's quite a lot, and fitted with the four-blade propellers, significantly improved the aircraft's flight performance, increasing the top speed to 557 kilometres an hour. What's that? 400 miles an hour? That's not bad, is it? Hopefully this came at... However, this came at a cost of slightly reduced operational range, obviously a bit thirsty. The defence armament and bomb load of the new aircraft remained identical to the 217K. So these aircraft were produced in parallel with the 217K1 and remained in service with Luftwaffe until the end of the war, in both bomber and reconnaissance squadrons. There we go. So, length 17.22 metres, wingspan of 19.1 metres. Two of these Daimler-Benz engines, so that gives you 3,500 horsepower in total. It's a lot of power for a small bomber. And as I said, about 400 miles an hour. Ferry range of kilometres, 2,100. That's about 1,400 miles. The rest. Armament: 4 7.92 machine guns, 2 13mm machine guns, and 4 tons of bombs. Wow. Best ICM paint check to use is 3085, which it shows here, and I shall get diving into this instructions. Now, I may not go through every single part in detail, because it is the same basic aircraft as we saw with the 217K, but we will have a jolly good... Oh, excuse me, sorry. We've got the strange weather that I mentioned. It making everybody tired. Everybody says they're sleeping better, and yeah, got darker nights. It's like we want to catch up on our sleep even in the daytime. Dear, I do. That's before I've had a drink. Anyway, let's have a look at this. So, zoom you in. There are a couple of the things that have changed, including, it would seem, oops, gone too far. A change of the fuselage. So there's going to be a different sprue, extra sprue with a new fuselage, it seems. There, and the original fuselage is slightly different, so that gets dropped. And then we start off building up the sides of the crew compartment inside. Then your seats going in, and the main cockpit area being built up with the navigator and pilot's control sticks. The seats are coming in here. Control stick stroke, it's more of a yoke, isn't it, on these really? Control yoke, I should say. And then you get that attaching in next to, there's also like a, I think it's a radio operator, the radio operator's position. That's actually the bit you start doing at the beginning, fitting the radio. rather rudimentary seat there for, I think it might be the gunner. It is indeed. The gunner's position, which goes behind. So that's the rear turret gunner. Top turret, I should say. Then we're going to build up our sort of internal spar and the bulkheads going in. Lots of internals. This time on the port side of the cockpit. We're going to build up our tail wheel assembly, and you've also got the. Where's that for? Oh yeah. So there's actually how many crew has it got? This is the one thing that sometimes. The one thing that ICM sometimes forget to tell us is the number of crew. I'm thinking there's 4 at least. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think there's 4. I think there's a top turret gunner, a bottom gondola gunner. What's one at the front as well? Is it 5? It might be 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I can see 5 positions, but anyway. The experts amongst you will know. I'm sure it's not more than 5 anyway. And then you bring it all together, bringing in your other side of your fuselage half, and then you've got your MG81Z machine gun position in the nose. And you've actually got an option of single or twin machine guns. That's cool. That is cool. Then we've got the tail cone going in, because it doesn't have a gun turret at the back on this one. You've got your tail wheel being assembled here, then that's going to go in like that. And you've got your gunner's position here, the ventral gunner underneath. Then we've got like the centre. This is good. They've got like a central section that drops in, like a spine section, so you avoid any seams. That's brilliant, excellent news. And then on the underneath, you've got your. Sorry, take that back. Sorry, I've jumped the gun there. They haven't actually explained it, unfortunately. It's closed bomb bay doors. It's not the top. It's the bottom. I've just realised. Or you can have the open bomb bays here, complete with all your bombs. Well, you got to do that, haven't you, really? Look at that. You've got all the detailed bomb bay doors, complete with, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 bombs, big ones. £500, 2 £500 and 2 £250. Not as big as I thought, perhaps. Now we go to the top, but you do have a sort of central section as part of the wing which drops in. Then you go back underneath. It's the other thing I find a bit confusing with the ICM instructions. It then flips upside down, but it's not very clear. It should show it flipped, you know, or say turn it upside down again. A little bit vague, and especially for younger models. I think you might find this a bit confusing. Then you're going to build up your tail section, your horizontal and vertical tail planes, sort of Lancaster or Mitchell fashion, you know. Then they're going to put those on, including the rudders on the vertical tails, twin tails, and your ailerons going on there as well. And then we get into these nacelles and then the BMW engines. Sorry, Daimler-Benz engines on this one, of course. This is how the BMW engine's taken off them, this version. Still a powerful engine though, aren't they? Still a very powerful engine. So this is the, I'm just trying to think what else were they used in these. The 6R3, isn't it? The 6R3, what was that using? Was it using the Stuka? Again, experts amongst you, feel free to shout up. Anyway, you're building up all your nacelles here for your Daimler-Benzes. Then you're going to build the Daimler-Benz engine itself. Got your radiators going in there. Building up the actual engine block itself. Complete with the radiator over the top in this case. You've got your 4-bladed props. And then we've got our left and right nacelles being built up here. And then you've got your engine bearers going on there, support it into the nacelles. And then you've got your cooling tank, and you've got your intake here, oops, here, and the exhausts coming out at the bottom. These are inverted, like upside down Merlin engines, aren't they? The Germans have this thing about inverting the engine for some reason. Never quite sure why that was. I can understand it in the 109 because of the shape, but not quite sure why they did it here. But anyway. Was it in the 109? Is it the same engine as 109? I think it might be. And there we go. So you're building up the twin nacelles. You do it all twice. put in your engine bearers, then you start building up your gear legs, retraction legs, complete with the mud guards, the wheels and tyres going in, and then you mount those plus your gear bay doors, popping them all in on both sides of the nacelles, 2 lots of those, and then you duly pop them in on the underside of the wing. You've got your gear bay doors and antenna at the back for the rear retracting tail wheel. You've got your upper gun turret ring coming in here. This thing that I thought was the fan, everybody tells me is the radio antenna, I'm told, which goes on the top. Because there's 2 versions, aren't there? 2 versions? Yeah. It goes in the top of the next to the turret, doesn't it, in the top canopy basically. And then that mounts in there. Again, not quite clear. It's got 82, so it is that it goes into there. Just the diagrams and the sort of sequencing is not as clear as I would like, but anyway. Then you got your guns going in here, and your top turret glass comes down. You've got all your little aerials and your pitos going on, and then you're going to build up your bombs. Aerial bombs this time. I think are these going to be used on the wings as well, or are they different? Are they different? Nope, these are the main bombs that go in the bomb bay. So you've got 250s and you've got your 500s. And that's really it. And then now beware, because this is one of those kits that, there's a lot of glass work. So look at all the windows you've got. How many are there? 46 windows you've got to do. No. Personally, I'd just buy a mass set for this. I think it's just got too much glass to be faffing around. You'd be here all week doing that. And then we've got our markings. So we have got some locations. So we've got France in the summer of 1943. It does tell us where it is this time. Quite an interesting scheme, that, actually. Even more interesting and more squiggly. Almost looks like a child has been at the Etch-a-Sketch, this one. It's quite cool, isn't it? And this is Colombian. Where's that? Is that in the... It must be in the Soviet Union, I think. Kastrup. Well, we know where Kastrup is. That's Copenhagen. Kastrup is the current location of Copenhagen Airport. This is in Denmark, this one. I've flown into Kastrup on business trips many times. I know that airport. It's a nice spot, actually. And then it just says, Prague Ruzn. So that's Prague in the Czech Republic for this one that's in 1945. Which actually is probably the most attractive scheme of all. All the schemes are quite nice. They're all different. Quite like that one. Very into squiggly lines, aren't they? Even got the squiggly lines underneath, look, on the wings. How odd. Very nice though, very nice. So there we go. That is your instructions. Yeah, 1 or 2 places where I think it could have been just a bit clearer. But I think I said that the first time on the 217K, so I think it's the same actually. So I think I had the same confusion, and somebody said that's not a fan, it's not a cooling fan, it's an aerial. Right, I'll put that away over here. And then let's have a look. As I say, I think I'll probably major on the differences, so really it's the nacelles and the engines, isn't it? Let's have a look at what we've got. Again, you know, okay, there's a single bag, but they're so tightly packed into these bags, there's just no way to move or damage them. I don't know why Airfix can't do the same thing. They do the opposite. They have an enormous bag, it's way over the top, and of course they do get damaged because they can just, you know, the parts are so mobile within the bag. Oh, we've got some beautiful clear parts. Yes, indeed. Lovely bombs. And then, now I'm going to have to get this right. I might just have to revisit. Just bear with me. I want to revisit those instructions just to double check which one it is that we want. So it's not sprue A that's got the fuselage. It's sprue K, which I think is the one underneath. Is it? Give us a clue. Which is which? Okay, so that's the one we want, not that one. Okay, we still need it for other reasons, of course. So I'll show you this, and we'll just ignore the fuselage parts on it because they're not relevant. and have a quick look at the differences. So the one in my right hand is the one we're not going to use, and you can see the slight difference in design, can't you? This glass house design is a little bit different at the front as well, which is why it's got this differential in the two fuselages. So we are going to use the one beneath. We're not going to use the one that's on top. See the difference? It's a bit deeper here. So it hasn't got the the canopy cutting into it in quite the same way. I'm just trying to get my head fully around that. Yeah, it is the right way up, isn't it? Yes. Yeah. Of course it is. Yeah, so it's just the difference in the canopy. So we'll ignore this and ignore this because we're not going to use it. But let's have a look at these nice other parts. So we've got some beautiful tail planes here. Nice, usual excellent plastic from ICM. Very subtle. It's always like a satin finished plastic. It's subtle engraving, but detailed. I mean, look at the detail here. It's amazing. It's fantastic. Yep, and then you've got your vertical tail planes, twin tails and rudders. That's your bomb bay door that you'll use if you can have it closed. Yeah, beautiful. Very subtle, nicely finished. No sink marks. Absolutely fine. I'm going to pop that first of all back in the bag. If you'll excuse me 1 second. I'll use this to keep the bag flat. Only be a benefit for us. There we go. Now this one we can look at properly because this one is the one we are going to use. So here's the fuselage with the port side. Yeah, I'm never a fan of this, having the antenna sticking out, moulded in. It's beautifully moulded, it's absolutely flawless. I just get nervous that I'm going to knock that off when I'm building the kit, that's all. It just seems very vulnerable. You've got these two different types of tail cones here. I think this is generic sprue though. I think that you only use one or the other in this version. I think so. And then you've got all this lovely instrumentation, this panelling here with the radio equipment in the sides of the wall of the fuselage on the inside, cockpit area. That's your little fan, what I thought was a fan, the antenna. And then you've got these machine guns, which are really nice actually. Let's just zoom in on these a bit more. Here. Super machine guns. Now I called them MG34s until somebody pulled me up about that and I've forgotten what they said now. They're not MG34s. I think they predate them, but anyway, not quite the same. There we go, some nice detail there, and then over on the other side we've got the starboard side of the fuselage here, which again has got some fantastic panel lining, very subtle but very clearly engraved. As you can see. Fantastic, nice sprue that, nothing wrong with that one. That's off to a very good start, I'd say. I mean, I just think ICM are making some of the nicest 48 scale sort of bombers, especially, that's around, you know. And they're not charging £200 for theirs, unlike the new Qatari Halifax. No, it's a big plane. I've got some misgivings about that whole project, to be honest. I mean, I don't wish them any ill at all. I'm not sure I like the way they're going about it. It doesn't feel right to me. It makes me very nervous. Talk about that another day, perhaps. But I know we talked about it I was on a guest on Jason's show recently on model kit stuff, and he kind of shared my view. I think we're both of the same mind, really. A bit risky putting your money into a £200 project that you have to wait 3 years to see the kit. A kit they haven't even designed yet. I understand why they're doing it, I think I do, but I'm not sure I like it. Anyway, that's by the by. Let's focus on ICM because we've got no problems here. And this is a kit that's retailing for around about the £55 mark. £55, £60, something like that. I have to say, kits have all gone up. I think most of the kits have gone up this year. We're talking about Tamiya being one of the worst, only because of their exchange rates with the Japanese yen. I think you find that any Japanese kits, Zokimura, have gone a bit more expensive as well because of the same reason. Here's all your ailerons and your flaps and things, and your Bombay doors. You've got your that's the elevators on the horizontal tailplanes. You've got your ring here for your gun mounting, and then you've got this rather rudimentary looking seat, like woven seat here. Not sure about that, not very comfortable. Then over here you've got your, I think it's a trim wheel, in fact, trim wheel, not a steering wheel. Trim wheel, you've got your cradle there for the retractable tail wheel. And then there's various bits of internal gubbins and antennas and things. Very nice. You've got your guns over here, I mentioned. More guns. Absolutely super those are. Stick that there for now. And then we've got a twin. We've got a couple of sprues that are doubled up. So these are the ones obviously with your engine. So makes perfect sense. So you've got your engine bearers here, as you can see. Over here. And then we've got our exhausts here. Your intakes are here. Looks like a 109, doesn't it, actually? I think it's the same engine that was in the 109. You even got the supercharger here. The supercharger sort of snail-like trumpet of the superchargers. Yeah, it does look like the 109 engine to me. Or a variant of. And then you've got your spinner. Nice spinner over here. And your mudguard for the undercarriage main gear wheels. Some lovely figuring there. Look at the detail here. Look at the tail wheel, for example. That's very, very nicely done in terms of its tread pattern. That's superb. And these really sort of authoritative looking four-bladed propellers. They look really nice, don't they? And again, ICM are putting the sprue gate contact point just in the right place where it's out of the way and can't be seen. Absolutely perfect design, that. Why can't everybody else do that sort of thing? I just don't get it. That's a really nice sprue, and there's two of these sprues. Obviously you've got your intakes here for your radiators. Your main engine blocks are over here. And then you've got your front of the engine, the boss here, with the prop shaft for the propeller. It's all there, isn't it? That's that one. And then we have got the nacelles themselves, which are here. Now then, also got our Bombay doors here. And oh yeah, this is the tail. What's that? I don't think that's used in this version, is it? I think that's the alternate nose, isn't it? Yeah, I think that there's only one of them. Don't think that gets used at all. Could be wrong. Must be missing something there. Don't think so. There's only one of them. That's really odd. Anyway, you've got the slimmer. The whole nacelle for the engine is quite slim. You've got what looks like a fuel tank here, and you've got various parts. Again, you've got parts of the internal cockpit area with all the switches and the radio gear, various controls and panels there. It's lovely, isn't it? I'm still mystified about this one. I'm just going to check that because I'm just a bit baffled. My hunch is that's not used at all in this kit. I don't think it is. I'm correct, it's not used. Yeah, it's a different variant, that's all. So there we go. So you don't use that. You don't use that. Either of these two parts are not used, in fact. So just ignore them. So that's that one. Then we have almost the last one, last of the grey sprues, the wings. And what a beautifully, delicately figured panel lines we've got on these wings. These are absolutely beautiful. Look at that, can you make that out? I hope that that's covered up my lamp, which isn't helping. A bit more light, there we go. Nice, isn't it? Such fine detail, little hatches and access panels and hatches. And then on the underside, same again. It's really nice. There we go. Just has this lovely sort of satiny plastic. There's no sink in it. It's very, very nice actually. Huh. Superb. Then, the last of the grey sprues. In fact, we've got two of these. It's a twin sprue. And this is our £500 and £250 bombs for the bomb bay. Complete with all their mountings. And the tail fins and the rings, etc. You've got the little ones here. I don't think you use those though, not in this kit. Not in this version. It's got the proboscis on the front, that's anti-personnel bomb. You've got all your fins all present and correct there, which leaves me with two, not one but two bags, clear parts. So I enjoy these so much, I'm going to take a proper good look at these. Because I do enjoy ICM's new tool clear parts. There's nothing not to like. Again, as fine as anything you'll see today. Just check this out. The engraving on the opaked out areas is perfect. All the window framing is beautiful. Really nice. I don't think anybody's doing it better than they are at the moment, not even Tamiya. They're dead level with them. People like Tamiya, Great Wall Hobby, and Qatari. I think these guys are probably better than Qatari actually. Qatari are not quite as perfect on the clear parts as I might like. Nothing wrong with them, they just don't, I think they seem thick, I think. These are very thin, see how thin they are? They've got that done beautifully again. That young man has been out with his bamboo stick furiously polishing away at his tool. If you know what I mean. The clear tool. It's just a level of finesse that you don't get in a lot of other kits. And then here, I've actually got two different versions. Yes. In fact, I've just realised I've shown you the wrong one. This is the one we want. The crafty devils. There's actually a crossover, there's a bit of both. But the main one that I've just shown you is not used. This is the one used. So we can tell it's got the two holes in the main glass house. Now, of course, it's got the big bulbous frontal glass house, which is why we need all these paint masks, because of this huge glass house, which is so complex and beautifully done again. So here's your main. Well, this is the one you are going to use. It's got the two holes in it. Well, there's one hole and one's got that's the fan under it. Sorry, the antenna, I should say. It's beautiful that you got a couple of the windows at the side, for the upper turret. So it actually shoots out the sides, which I'd forgotten. Shoots out the sides as well, backwards shooting on both sides, like a gun port. And then, as you can see in the artwork, if I show it you here, so it's shooting out of these gun ports on either side. And you've got the upper turret as well. And you've got the lower turret down here, which is harder to see when my thumb is. And you've got the one in the nose, so you've got bristling with weapons, isn't it, really? But that's what you have, so you've got quite an impressive selection there. And some of the nicest glasswork you'll see on any model kit, really. I mean, it's just totally up there, you know, with something like a Tamiya car. Brilliant. Absolutely stunning. What a lovely kit. Lovely kit. So, I'm trying to think back whether I gave it 10 out of 10 last time. on the one with the BMW engines. Here we've got the Daimler-Benz engines, pinched from the new 109s. Anything I didn't like? Well, I was nitpicking a bit on the instructions because there's nothing else not to like, really, is there? It's a really nice kit, to be honest. You know, if Airfix were producing that, it would be the same rating. I think it'd be a 10, you know. So it's a very, very beautiful thing. Getting it back in the bag, however, would be quite a tricky challenge. You may be about to see an almighty accident. There is only one way to do it with these bags, of course. I've been told again and again, there's only one way, and that's what you do. Put the adhesive out of the way. Folding it safely back where it can't do any harm. Pop these over like that, and then just pop it in, he says. Maybe I'll do it separately, actually. I know what the problem is. We've got these in the way. Let's do it like that. All part of the challenge, I find. Part of life's rich tapestry, getting kits back in their bags, especially when it's a tight one like this. It doesn't really want to go back in its bag. Like it's made a break for freedom. It's got no interest in returning activity. I'll be struggling with it. Let's turn it upside down. I think you should enjoy this because it's like watching me suffer, isn't it, really? Entertainment for you. There's got to be a way of doing it better than what I'm doing at the moment. I'm sure this is it. I'm going to pop them in like that. I'm sure it's going to create me a lot more room and make it go in a bit smoother to boot. What do you reckon? What do you think is going to happen? I think I know it's trouble what's going to happen. It could be actually one of those like outtake, blooper, end of the year videos that people do with everything that went horribly wrong. Well, the trouble is I have so many things that go horribly wrong. This is where I should edit it out. And I'm going to do that later. I'll just do that later because I've given up. Let's not hold that against them. What do we think? I think it's a 10 out of 10. It's a really nice kit, that. And you can see it's got that different personality of the different engines as well. The only thing it could do with perhaps is some figures, you know. Just to give it some animation. I think that would be nice. But it's beauty. Another winner from ICM. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. You've got 4 schemes. Just nice number to choose from. All very interesting stuff and quite an attractive aircraft. So, well done ICM. 10 out of 10 from me on that one. We've got some more interesting kits coming from them soon. Hope you'll stay tuned. And while you wait for those, I'll go and try and get this thing back in the pack. This is it's a real Jack in a Box one this time, where it feels like it's double the thickness of what came out. So we'll see what I can do behind the scenes. Just try and take the pressure off. Anyway, hope you'll give me a like, give us a thumbs up. Especially if you enjoyed me suffering there with the bag. If I do it off camera I can do some swearing, it's more fun, you know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video and thought the review was interesting and helpful. As I say, about £55–60 region is the price on this one. Strongly recommend this one to you. So thanks to ICM for providing the kit for us to review. And their great packaging was too good. And until next time, please stay tuned. We've got 2 or 3 more interesting ones of these to come for you to see. Until then, stay well, stay safe. Thanks very much for watching. Take care of yourselves. Until next time, bye for now.